welcome to our first FIA show of 2019. And our FIA stands for?
Fuck it all!
Yo, it's Forget It All, guys. Come on, it's a PG show. Jesus. All right. Guys, brutal. Okay, I'm kidding, though. So I'm super excited today. I got Alison Walsh and Lou Volk here from the Walsh and Volk Team.
Woo!
Yes. Yeah. Woo! These guys are awesome, okay? Now, was it you guys do a tremendous amount of business. One of the first questions I have to ask is, Walsh and Volk or Volk and Walsh?
No, it's Walsh and Volk.
Okay.
Always have.
Okay, that was clearly never a conversation.
No.
Okay, I was just checking.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, what, to get started, why don't you guys tell everybody how you got started? Because you guys have been superstar realtors for the past 30 years. You've got your own brokerage now. And why don't you tell everybody how you got started, actually, in the business, Lou?
Well, I started real estate because I was unemployed. That's usually how all the realtors is, that you start because you need a job. So that's how I started. I had an interest in real estate. I had owned a property, and I was interested in owning some more. I thought that I would at some point, be a developer. That just didn't happen back in the day. But so I sold houses. And I just kept selling houses and hoping that it would blossom into a higher level of investment. So I was always interested in investment, and got involved with investors throughout my career, and was always buying properties myself. And so I've had the good, the bad, and the ugly over 30 years. I've seen pretty much most of what can go wrong and go right. But at the end of the day, my firm belief is that you're better off having a few more properties than a few less. Anytime that I've talked to my clients, the clients that I've had that have more than one property are doing way better than anybody that's only got one. That's just bottom line. If you don't have the opportunity to do it, I think that it's more so a mindset than anything else.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's
mindset.
That's awesome. And so, Alison, you've been in the business for 25 plus years as well, too?
Yes, 25 plus years.
How'd you get into it? How'd you start?
I had a job.
Okay.
I left.
It was coaching Lou. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No, I left a very good position in Toronto. I had two little people, and I did. And I was never at home, and I decided, hey, if I'm going to work this hard, I'm going to do it. And it was going to be in real estate. You used to get the Burlington Post every Saturday, and I'd read through it, and I could do this. And 25 some odd years later, that's what I'm doing.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So how many ends would you guys do in a year? About how many with your?
Plus or minus 100.
Wow.
This year we're on track to do 150.
Wow.
Yes.
So you're helping 150 families a year.
That's the way.
Alison was actually a real
is
superstar. Alison, and what people don't realize is that the hustle that's in there. Alison sold 45 houses by herself her first year.
Woo! That is.
Yes.
That is
Alison
your very
is a
first
natural.
year.
My very first year.
Girl power.
That is awesome.
She's a
Yes.
natural. That was not the case for me.
Oh, you're just teeing them up for me here, Lou. Just teeing them up,
Yeah,
I know.
so there are people that are naturals at this. Alison's one of them, and so and her passion for the business is what's kept me going for the many years.
That's cool. I think that's awesome because a lot of people, I think a lot of people relate to Lou in the sense where you don't have a job, you go into something and same with mortgage brokering, you go into a commission sales role, but you hustled your ass off and were super successful the first year. What would you say to people that were thinking about making a leap and changing? Because I think a lot of people, some people even here think about, it's really comfortable right now, I don't know if I can do it. What would you say to that?
You'd have to have a passion for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's 7 days a week, and you got to have the drive. You honestly have to have the drive and the passion. And I started because I did have that drive and passion. I went from company car expense account to nothing. I went to a car payment and making my own lunch.
Yeah.
So you just have to have a passion for it. You have to enjoy the people aspect of it.
Yeah.
And I did 3 open houses on a weekend to meet people. Because I worked in Toronto, and now I'm in Burlington, living the high life. And living in Burlington, knew no one, and so I did 3 open houses a week weekend, 1 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday.
That's awesome. You know, I tell people a lot too, especially people getting into mortgages and same with real estate. Fear is a great motivator.
Yes.
Right? Would you say? Like, I think
Yes.
fear can scare the shit out of you,
Yes.
but then also cause you to be like, I got to make a paycheck.
Yes.
Right? Like, I got to do it. And that obviously worked.
It
Worked for you.
big time for me.
So times that by 100 when you open your own business.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's talk about that, because what inspired you guys? Because you were working with another big brand company, right? And then you decided, okay, it's time to do our own thing, right? Because you were with the other company for a number of years.
20
Yeah.
plus years, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that one of the key factors is that we had our own location for over a decade. So the thing is that we were already operating independently, and then what we decided is to change the focus. So typically, a real estate company, their customer is the real estate agent. The main change in our company is that Guaranteed Real Estate Services, the client that is the actual buyer and seller.
The home buyer.
The home buyer
Or the home seller.
is our
Yep.
client for the company. So
Yep.
it's a total different mindset in how we operate, because we're going to develop resources for our end user client, not so much for
The
real estate
agents that you bring on. Yeah.
Whereas, you know, all the other companies out there, they're working their ass off trying to get services that will attract real estate agents, and we are doing that totally opposite. We are working our ass off trying to get services that are going to attract clients.
Right, because you guys have a team. You've built up
Yeah.
a team.
Yes.
But you also have great, like, and you guys have taught me a lot about sales. I feel like I'm at the school of Lou every time I come to your office. Right? I'm like, every time I think I'm doing it right, I go meet you. I'm like, fuck, I'm doing it wrong again. God damn it, I'm doing it wrong, right? But you guys have a lot of guaranteed programs.
Yes.
Right. So, and you guys, it's really resonated with me. Like, honestly, I do listen a lot when you talk. Okay. So, but share with your guaranteed programs, because I think we see this all the time in sales, and we see this all the time in business, right? But how does it really translate for you guys, like in those programs?
I think one of the biggest things is that we are coached, and it's our coach that laid this in front of us.
Right.
And because we run a program called Your Home Sold Guaranteed, or We'll Buy It. It's not a hoax. We actually will do that. We spun off and built 5 other guarantees. And it all started with us driving up Guelph Line, and we were looking at park benches, you know, or bus benches, and you'd see a picture of an agent, and this is what they know is, hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. Use me because I have all of these awards. If there's nothing in those signs that say anything what you're going to do for the customer. So we have...
Like the whiff of the what's in it for me.
What's in it for me?
Yeah.
You know? So we developed, and one of the biggest things that people have a fear is missing something, missing the right home. So we have one of our guarantees that we give to our buyers, and it's if we miss sending you the home that you purchased, we are going to give you $1,000. Now, when I presented that to our agents, they went, what?
Yeah.
You know?
Wait, what?
And I said,
Yeah,
that
totally.
is your
Yeah.
job, to search for homes for our customers. Don't let them believe that there's something still out there.
Yeah.
So, search. You look under rocks for houses. Just don't depend on the MLS.
Right.
You got to search for it.
Well, we also purchase exclusive priority lists that are exclusive only to us, and so we have access to off-market, hard-to-find homes, so that we do actually have houses that you cannot find as an average buyer.
Yeah.
I think with that guarantee too, what I loved about that is it really makes you accountable, makes your
Yes.
team accountable, makes everybody accountable.
Yes.
And if whether I'm an agent working for your team or if I'm a buyer, I know that I know you don't want to pay me $1,000 if I'm going to come across
No.
and find something. So I know that you're working
Yeah.
for me.
Do you know that we have given $1,000 out
In
in the years that we've ran this?
oh, that's awesome.
And it's because we had a change of agents, and it was dropped.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Yeah, it
balls are
happens.
dropped,
Yeah.
and guess what?
Totally.
We lived up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Brian to cut me a check for $1,000 a month.
Well, I did not drop any balls. Okay, it was
But what we're trying to do is, like we said, is we're working towards making the end user very comfortable.
yeah.
We also have another guarantee that let's say this young couple or a person purchases the home and they find it doesn't work for them. Their furniture doesn't fit. They just don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Pit
another
bull moves
fear.
in next door.
Yeah, pit bulls live
yeah.
next door, and people go, oh my God. Well, we give them a guarantee that if you don't like it, we will sell it for free for you.
That's amazing. Yeah,
So we're focusing on things for the end user. Obviously, the big companies out there can't afford to do this. They're just not even interested in it.
Right.
They wouldn't have anybody that would want to work for them and have to live up with these kinds of programs. But we're, training our people because there's more to it that goes behind the scenes.
Yes.
So that's the main focus.
Well, I think in what you're doing is you're developing clients for life, right? And I think that's what we're kind of after all the time, right? Is clients for life. I love what you guys do because I think a lot of us who are, self-employed or thinking about being self-employed, we're always trying to differentiate ourselves.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And you nailed it there when you say, I've got these awards, I've got this and that, but it really gives a shit.
Exactly.
Right?
You start January with zero again.
Yeah. That's a good
You can't
point.
take these awards to the bank, and your clients don't care. They don't. I give awards. We just had an awards ceremony in our office for our team.
Yeah.
And it's for them. It's, I'm proud of them, so I give them an award.
Yeah.
But it's like I said when I did my speech to them that's last year. How many more families are you going to help this year?
Yeah.
Because it's all
Yeah.
about help. It's not about the sales. It's about helping families get what they want.
Yeah.
And it's not on
make
their
it
business
easy.
card.
What's that?
We're not putting their awards on the business card. This is just for internal purposes
Yeah.
only.
I think it's great. What I think you could take a business that's been around for hundreds of years, look at it and do it a little bit different. Like it reminds me in a weird kind of way, like with Apple computers, right? Mm-hmm. They did one thing. You know what they did that just revolutionized their business? Is when they put out those computers that were different colors. Do you guys remember those?
Yeah.
Some marketing guy just had a brilliant idea and said, you know what? We're fighting against, Bill Gates over here. We're fighting against this. Mm-hmm. Let's just make them pink and purple.
Yeah.
And everybody's probably, what a dumb fucking idea that is, right? Well, guess what? It sold like 10 million computers just by changing the color, right? And I think it's to what you guys are saying, by just differentiating yourself. Because you guys... And I think some other realtors would do that too, but you guys are putting yourself on the line with a guarantee for it.
Yeah.
Which is
we're
which is
advertising it. We're putting it out there.
Well, you're putting your money where your mouth is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there is fantastic agents out there.
Yeah.
There is. In every company, it's, a real individual sport.
Yeah.
But we just happen to want to communicate that.
You had another one with property management, I think, as well too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that right?
So to answer the fella at the back, the young man at the back, the investors. So that's kind of like near and dear to my heart. That's kind of my last stand. So we're making a guarantee that we're going to guarantee a cash flow. That basically I wouldn't let you buy a property unless it cash flowed properly. And I'm going to make sure that all the numbers work. And this is where typically a lot of people say, I'd like to buy an investment property. Let me buy a condo. No, well, by the time you pay the condo fees, taxes, it's pretty tough to make it. And so typically the people that buy a condo for an investment have piles of cash. They're not like me and Brian from Hamilton where we had to scrap for some money. There are people, and we do have a client that flew in from Japan and bought a place that he called an investment property with $500,000 in a briefcase, and that's not really an investment. He's
speculating.
Yes, that's
He's speculation. Like it's
he's
kind
just
of
hiding some money here in Canada.
Well,
and so
Blue.
well, don't say his name, okay?
And he's a very nice young man. And the thing is that
Come and rent your money with us.
we could probably buy 3 properties for him to cash flow and outperform whatever numbers he's thinking he's making. And so that's really where I'm coming from. And the biggest fear that people have when they're buying an investment property is the tenants,
Yep.
right? And the maintenance. And so what we do is that if you buy an investment property from us, we lease it for you, no charge. So if it's not leased up right away, then we'll get new tenants in there for you. And of course, we're really good at that because we do that every day. Also, we have a management program. I'm going to call it, I hope Uber isn't watching, but I call it Uber Property Management. Since we've had properties, I didn't want to pay a property manager 10% of my income from the properties, because that's typically what they're looking for. They're looking for 10 points across the board, whether you call them or not, year in, year out. So I thought that doesn't make sense. I don't want to pay it. So I've created, because we have 5 or 6 properties, and so we needed assistance. And we have a full-time handyman that works on staff for us in our company, Guaranteed Real Estate Services. So again, that is a focus.
But he works our investment properties, our personal investment properties.
So
plus we will
for clients. For
clients, we're going to, for $50 an hour, he's going to do whatever's required. So you got a roof leak, he's going to go have a look at it. He's going to call a roofer. So you make one phone call to me, and we get it looked after.
Mm-hmm.
So now, because I think that program's amazing, and we run across investors all the time, and I agree that the first concern is, I'm not handy, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even allowed to paint in my house, so I'm screwed, right? But like, for anybody watching or listening right now, I think for what you have, what would you say to someone who says, yeah, that's cool, I'd love to maybe build a business like yours one day, but you guys are at what some would call a scale. Like, you guys have scaled big. You're doing 100 to 150 transactions a year. How would somebody start that? Or how did you start it, I guess? Because to give out a guarantee and to give out that, the first thing that might come into someone's head is like, holy shit, like, I'm gonna go broke if I make all these guarantees, right? That's gonna be hard.
Do you know what? When we first started to do that program, I've been in the business forever. I was scared shitless too.
That's awesome.
Like, we're making this guarantee. We're going to buy somebody's house, you know.
Yeah.
But there's so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
And yes, you have to be financially secure to do it. I wouldn't suggest somebody just starting out, because it takes you 6 months to make some money. It's not somebody that would do that off the bat. You do have to have some cash behind you.
Cool.
And even as much as that cash is, you're still scared skinny.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, and I think that's important to know, because it's not like it's just, because you see some of these programs and you think they're easy, but it's like, in the background, it's like, oh, geez, you know what I mean? It's just like anything with building a business, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everything new that you do in your business, there is a reality of, what if it fails? And at the age that Lou and I are at, we can't afford to fail.
Whatever. You guys are spring chickens. You kidding?
No, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
At your age, you can make a few mistakes. We made some mistakes back then.
Well, I think Lou had a book, What Not to Do with Lou. Is that what you're going to do?
Yes.
Just kidding. I've got What Not to Do 100 times with Brian, so yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, no matter how much knowledge you have, how much business knowledge you have, you're always fearful of the next step.
Yeah.
I would. I know you wrote down coach there. I don't know if you.
I did. Yeah.
But I think that's one of the things that if I could advise anybody in the room, no matter what business you're in, that I think that we were slow to really buy into coaching, and I really got to believe that things would have gone a lot easier, faster had we reduced the ego that allowed us to be more coachable over the years, back when you're, young like Brian and full of piss and vinegar and
just coffee, Lewis, just coffee.
Yeah, and that I don't need that, whatever. But if Tiger Woods still needs a coach, so do everybody. If you want to perform at higher levels, someone has to review your activities and your successes and your failures, and coach you to perform at your next level. Yeah. And I think that's where, for us, even to leave RE/MAX and open up our own show, that took.
You did that with you had a coach. We did that too, right? So
we spent a full day talking about it with our coach in Atlanta, and
I was all for it, but it was Lou going.
I wasn't so sure.
The coach came and go, "What, are we doing it today?" And I go, "Yeah." But
So that's one of my takeaways for anybody that's what Brian's saying about starting businesses and all those kinds of things, and higher levels of activity is, don't be afraid. Go get coaching, and there's lots of them out there, and interview them and have a look at different ones.
Have you ever switched coaches? Like you've had lots of different coaches, right? Yeah. Like I used to think. Because I've had lots of coaches, and I have 2 different coaches for different things right now because I'm really fucked up. Like I need a lot of help, right? So but the reality is, right? Like I've got coaching for, from my personal relationships to my
Yes.
business, because I'm an adamant believer in that. But you've had different ones along the way too, right? Because
They've all been business coaches,
Yep.
and we've never. We're always looking for something.
Yeah.
I think you have to. It's like finding a good man or a good woman. You have to do a lot of dating to find the right one, right? So that's sort of what we
Yeah.
did. We had courtships with coaches.
Cool. Yeah.
And then this last coach, it was like bingo. We connected.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about building a business. He wasn't teaching us how to be a good real estate person.
Yeah.
We already knew how to be a really good or a good salesperson. You
Yeah.
know, and I say that because a really good salesperson can sell properties and have your customers come back to you when they want to do it again.
Yeah.
That's my version of a good real estate, is when your customers come back to
Any
you.
Yeah, I agree.
salesperson.
Right?
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
salesperson.
Totally. When they come back.
No. Well, I know real estate, so
Yeah.
What would you say is, what would you spend on coaching? You don't give me exact numbers, but if you're going to say a percentage, because I know a lot of people think, I can't afford it, and I think it's so important. I think it's one of those.
$30,000 a year.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's just the fee to be involved, but then there is travel, seminars, conventions, hotels. So I think it's a $50,000 ticket a year.
You know what? I couldn't agree more with that too. And I read an interesting stat the other day that said the average $1 million producer in
Yeah.
real estate or mortgages will spend 56 days a year on personal development.
Absolutely.
So 56 days, that's more than a day a week.
Yes.
Every single week of the year.
Yeah.
Working on your business. And I
Yeah.
think people don't realize that.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do to be successful. You got to continue to grow and evolve and work. Whether you're a real estate investor, whether you're what would you say? Do you think a real estate investor needs that as well too?
Absolutely. There is.
Need a coach, yeah.
I've been to a lot of seminars with regard to Than Merrill. Anybody who knows who Than Merrill is?
Yeah.
Than Merrill.
Yes, be in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Than Merrill is one of those guys out of the States that flipping houses, all that kind of stuff. And I went with one of my clients that, he wanted to flip some more houses and stuff like that. And he cut them a check for 24 grand that day. So that's what it costs to get hooked up with somebody that's super successful in whatever industry that you're looking at. There is you got to put the wood in before you get fire. It's an old, you're not getting fire until you put wood in, and you got to do that first. And so, but this is where, we are a cheap coach for investors because,
Yeah. I agree with that, because you guys are putting in monetary resources and time and effort at this level, which this person just can't.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yes.
now I think anybody that's coached becomes a coach in a different way, right? So
so we're coaching people on real estate, and our coach, who's the main guy, he's got a coach. We can't even touch his rate. His rate's $5 grand an hour,
Yeah.
and so but we're getting the benefit from his coaching, and it just keeps going up that way. It's kind of weird that the way that works, but
You and I have
It
talked
trickles
many
down.
times
trickles
over the
down.
years, or these last few years, is why didn't we find this coach
Sooner?
10 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
well, you know what? And I think, like my coach said to me the other day, I was feeling pretty good about myself,
But
but
you're on
he's-
the front of a magazine. Where's the magazine?
Oh, that's okay. It's Photoshop. Yeah, anybody can do that. Yeah, I'll put you on the cover. Okay. But you're a product of all your events and circumstances, right? It's
Yes.
kind of like you are, and he constantly reminds me you are exactly where you're supposed to be, and I really, really, truly believe that. Before we wrap up, I want to talk one last thing, which I love about your business, is because I think people will always strive for success, and success is great and money is great and all that stuff. But I think, and I honestly believe, the spice of life is contribution and what you give back. One of the reasons why I love to do this is to maybe we give someone an idea. Maybe someone changes their life.
Yes.
Maybe someone, after something that you guys said, goes and has a great life and starts a business, right? But also contribution does come by giving to charity, right?
Yeah.
And you guys do something great.
Yes.
And I just wanted to talk about that if you guys
Okay.
could. So
I'll start and then you can continue.
If that's okay.
Okay. 2013, Lou was diagnosed with throat cancer, stage 4. And when the doctor told us in his office, I dropped to my knees and I started to cry. And because in my family, cancer meant you're gone, you're dead. Because both my parents, very young, 45 and 52, got cancer and they were gone. So here's my loving partner being diagnosed with stage 4. And Lou has this he didn't cry, he didn't do anything, he just stood there and he said, everything is going to be okay, Alison. Well, he hasn't lived with the cancer thing, with his family or anything, thank goodness. And so immediately radiation and chemotherapy, and we went to Jervinsky in Hamilton, one of the greatest hospitals around. The people were fantastic. And this one day, Lou was having chemo treatment. It was like a 6-hour drip. And I sat beside him, and he kind of, fell asleep. And these lovely ladies are walking around, and one of the ladies came over to me. She goes, would you like a blanket? Would you like a cookie? And I said, oh no, I'm not here. I'm just here to keep him company. She goes, no, we look after family members too. So I got into a conversation with this woman and asked her a few questions about, where does this money all come from? And their organization is Jervinsky Patient Cancer Care. And I loved it. We could put so much money into finding a cure for cancer. But what about the people that already have it? And this division is run by donations. So they saved my husband's life.
woo!
What? Yeah, woo, 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 woo. I don't mean to be a downer, but Debbie Downer here, but they saved his life. And we chose, real estate's been good to us, the world's been good to us, we've met many wonderful people, and what we do is, a few things, is that every deal that we do, every deal, not just referrals, but every deal that we do, a portion of our income or fee goes directly to Jervinsky Patient Cancer Care. And Lou and I also run client parties for 4 to 5 times a year, and where we bring them to a bar, we feed them with drinks and some wings and stuff, and then
Can I come to the next one?
you've been invited, but you've ignored my emails or they got lost.
Yeah.
But at that event, and we take them to the movies. Have a couple of hours. Feeding and drinking them, and then during that time, I always bring out our donation box, and I'm a nut bar, woo, 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 it's time, and they donate. They put money. We go around, and I thank everybody, for donating, and we raise, $300 a night or whatever, and that goes into the Jervinsky, and everybody knows when they come.
Yeah.
At Christmas time, I brought a blank check, and I said, okay, guys. And there had to be 60 people, and then Christmas time is a pretty good number to have somebody come. I said, I just want you all to stand at the back, and somebody held out the check, and I took a picture of them all, because it's not, on these nights, it's not just Lou and I raising money, it's everybody. And it's really cool when we have these events. There's always, when's the bucket coming out? When's the bucket coming out?
I think that's one of the best things, and when I didn't know that about you guys for the first bit, and I think that's, God, you're a resilient guy, Lou, I gotta say.
Yes.
All the stuff that you guys have done.
Yeah.
But
So we're on a mission to raise 20,000, and
we're pretty close.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. I think that's awesome, because you know what? Growing a business as successful as you guys are, I think it's important
You
for other
gotta
people
give
to
back.
Yeah.
And you got to give back to something you're passionate about.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. And pick something. Doesn't matter how much money it is. every organization can use the extra money. And you know what? I feel really good because there's going to be someone tomorrow sitting in that chair, Lou is, and I feel personally I'm helping make him more comfortable.
Yeah.
Keep that that program going.
I think it's awesome. I remember when I was younger, my dad used to say you could either give money or time.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So when you're young, if you don't have any money, you can give time, you know? And if you get older and time becomes more valuable, you can give money. Like you can leverage that, right? I think either way you can give something, which helps out a lot. You know what? I just want to say a great big thank you to guys. Can you guys give these guys a big round of applause? Thank you guys so much for taking the time. I really enjoy getting to know you guys so much better, and I love working with you guys. I think you guys are salt of the earth and just awesome people. So
can I say something?
Sure.
You're an absolute breath of fresh air. No, you absolutely are. We've had some meetings together. Your whole team is spectacular. The service level that we've experienced, and I'm not talking, out my arse here, but because I'm on camera, but no, your business is spectacular. We were talking about it last night about, we're always approached from different mortgage people and stuff, and you brought your crew in, and we've gotten a couple of mortgages through you, and the experience has been spectacular.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to say, I'm here because I believe in you, and I think you and us make great partners. Okay?
Okay. Thanks. Oh, you're awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next month. Okay? See you later.